So welcome everyone. Welcome to the United Way Kickoff. Woohoo! It's nice to see a lot of people out there. So I'm wearing my crab hat. I wonder how many of you people remember the last time I wore this crab hat. It was on the terrace behind the castle. I had just become a BOG member, Board of Governor member, and I was representing the BOG, and I said a little speech, and I wore this crab hat. It was Hat Day. Does anybody remember that? Oh yeah, there's some classics. Fortunately, unfortunately, it was never taped, because that was a classic moment in my life. So I brought the crab hat back out, because, hey, United Way, this is a fun gig. It's a wonderful cause. We need to get out of our skin and be somebody else and see if we can raise awareness to your community. Raise the roof, raise your skirt, raise anything you can for the United Way. Oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Did you know that we've been doing this since 1996? In fact, one of our staff members who coordinated it in 96 is here, Cindy Goodman. Cindy, where are you? Now in 1996, she tells me that we raised $300. About $300 bucks.
Wow.
1996. Last year, I believe it was just over 52,000. Nice. We have come a long way. So, I have a lot of people to introduce to you. So here is the United Way of Greater Victoria Dream Team. They're all sitting at this lovely table right here. We have Linda Hughes, CEO. Can you just please stand up? Or there it is. Heather Strike, Director of Communications. And an RRU graduate. Yeah. Andrea Torres, lone rep from RRU. Felicity Smith, campaign associate. Now, of course, the United Way, this wouldn't happen without the great time and effort from a lot of our RRU campaign team. So I'm going to force them to stand up one at a time, starting with Amy Dove. Cecilia David. Really? That was standing? Wow. Chris Brown, stand up, please. Yes. Earl Grey. Right. Cindy Goodman again. Colleen McGonigal. Jeannie Drew. Jeannie, are you here? No Jeannie. I dream of Jeannie. Yay, Jeannie. Karen McEwen. Kyla McLeod. Our fan favorite, Roberta Mason. And Shelley Langille. All right, well, I could go on, and well, you don't really want that. So why don't we get a message from our Grand Pooh Bear, Mr. Alan Cahoon. He couldn't be here today, but he will be with us via video.
As you can guess, I'm not able to join you for this launch of our United Way campaign. United Way is very important to me, and I've been part of our of the campaign cabinet for Victoria since I arrived. Unfortunately, there's been a meeting of the research universities and the new minister in Vancouver, so that was called just a couple of days ago. So I'm unable to join you, but I just want you to know how important I believe the support of the United Way, not just because of who we get to help and the statement that we make about our a caring community, but it's a way of demonstrating to ourselves, to people here, to our students who are learning from us as teachers and our community, that we do care about people in our community, that we're concerned about the issues of poverty, mental illness, and health. So my support, I've signed my form, I'm in again, and I encourage you, all of you, to do it. Thanks, and we'll see you at the duck race.
So have I mentioned that this is a really great cause, right? Do you guys know that? You guys know that this is a really, really, really big cause? Good. Did you know that 165 employees participated last year? That's about 40%. So let's see if we can't raise that awareness and kick your neighbor and see if you can get them to participate. I'm going to call up the lovely Roberta Mason, the ASVP of Student Services and all the wellness of RRU, Ms. Roberta Mason. She has to wear a hat, because if I have to wear this, damn it, she's got to wear something too. Now, why wouldn't you want to see Roberta in a hat like that? Look at that.
I sort of feel like taking off my skirt now, but maybe we'll save that for later. Thank you all for being here today, and special thanks to Steve and Pedro and others who, all of you I know are super, super busy, but coming out for just this hour of our time to be here and just focus a little bit on the United Way and what it means to all of us is really much appreciated. Mike, can you take us to the next slide? So as Tony's already done our great welcome, we're going to take you through the message from Alan we've had. I'm going to take you through a little bit about the RU campaign this year. Then we are blessed to have Bruce Williams here to join us as our leader presenter, and he'll be up shortly. And then followed by that, Jacquelin Green, who's joining us also from the Young Parents Support Network, which is one of the agencies that benefits from the United Way. And then we're going to talk about making your donation at the end, because that's always everybody's favorite part. Can you go to the next slide, Mike? So clearly, we're connected to this bigger goal of the United Way of Greater Victoria. And this year, the United Way of Greater Victoria's goal is $6 million. So 52,000 is a small part of that, but it's an important part. So the part that we play in making that happen is huge. And $6 million sounds like a lot of money, but in our community, surprisingly, we could do even more. So it's a realistic goal, an exciting goal, but something that we're all committed to supporting around all that kids can be, from poverty to possibility, and healthy people and strong communities. Those are the 3 impact areas of the United Way's campaign this year. So our campaign, why do we do our campaign, you might ask? The campaign committee this year did a little bit of introspection about, it takes a lot of energy to put this on. So why is it that we do it? Well, we do it to raise money. We do it to certainly, because change starts here and we want to help make a difference. That seems pretty obvious. But also we want to raise awareness about things that are going on in our community, because in many respects, the research that our faculty and our students do is connected to those experiences of community. There are lots and lots of examples of theses and projects that are done that address the kinds of issues that the United Way work looks at. So we've got a great connectivity to the lived experience of people in our communities. We also see it as a chance to recognize and celebrate our staff and faculty and employees and have a little bit of fun together. So when we sat back and thought about it, we said, you know what, actually it really is worthwhile. It's worth taking an hour out to have this moment together, and the hour or 2 we might take over the course of the campaign to fill out that pledge form or go to the duck race or go to the book and bake sale. We all benefit, and so do so many others. So our specific campaign, Mike, this year, I forgot about the fun part. So Tony already said last year, we met our goal, which was $52,000. And that's, as I said, that's a lot of money. I was just going to ask, I'm going to put Linda on the spot for a second. Camoson's goal is what? Does anybody know? I think it's 88,000.
We'll go with that.
I think it's 88,000.
We'll say that.
And I just want to say, for we're tiny but mighty. Royal Roads University, aren't we? Anyway, we did want to start off this year's campaign by acknowledging we did make our goal in a tough year and in times when people haven't seen raises and all that other stuff. And we wanted to really thank people for that. So in this box, actually, are all the names of people who donated last year, who gave through a pledge form. So we're going to start off this campaign with a bang and make a draw right now for a $100 gift certificate for the winner's choice of whatever Canadian retailer they would like to choose it from. And I'm going to ask Linda if she would draw a name for us.
Make sure I only take one.
You only take one. We have a very limited campaign budget. Woo! And the winner is Linda Nesson. Because she was actually here. But since I can't give her the gift certificate because she gets to choose where it's from, she gets to wear the pink hat. There you go. Thank you, Linda. That's awesome. And thank you to all the other donors who gave last year, and looking forward to giving next year too, this year too. So next slide, Mike, please. So this year we've stuck with the 52,000 goal. We're going to try to make that 52 again. We know things continue to be kind of flat for folks. We know we're in a tough economy, and we know that we might be able to just break this. But we're really enthusiastic about making that 52,000 again. We're also super enthusiastic about 100% participation. Everybody giving. We know that people give to what they can, and what is given is appreciated from $1 to $1,000. It's nice when people give on the pledge forms, though, because it helps the United Way demonstrate how much people and communities do give. It's terrific we give to the events also. And so people giving in their own way is just most appreciated. Pledge forms help a little bit in other ways too, and so we'd encourage, if you haven't had a chance to do that in the past, to think about it this year. We're going to focus this year some of our campaign theme on all that kids can be too. So we've chosen that theme to kind of look at some of the agencies that support children in our communities as well. Oh yeah, drum roll. So we did a kind of sneaky thing this year, and Shelley Landrell, who's our leadership chair, has been beating the bushes early, and we already, today, have $17,261. Shocking! Some of you are looking at me like, how's that possible? Well, that's possible because Shelley connected with those who gave at the leadership level last year, so that's $500 or more, and went to them early and said, can we show folks that we're still here? We're still here for the campaign even through these tough times. And so far, we've collected that much money. Now, I don't mind telling you, there's a few folks in there who gave at the leadership level last year and couldn't this year, and that's okay. It's okay. What you give is what counts. It's what's important is what you can do for yourself and for our community together. So, you're starting off with 33% of our goal already raised. Wow, awesome, right? Yes. 5% participation. So it's kind of neat that it shows that a good amount of money comes from those leader donors. It's so important then how each one of us giving the small amounts or the big amounts that we can, doesn't matter, adds up for that participation. What? All right, so on that note, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Bruce Williams. Bruce, many of you will recognize from TV. You know he's with CTV and is manager of I'm going to get this right. He is manager of community and client relations for CTV Network. Bruce.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here. I'm a little taller on television. Please don't be disappointed when you meet me in person. Great to have this crowd here. Beautiful room. Haven't been in this room for a couple of years, but it's great to be back for this purpose. I was saying to Roberta and a few others, I feel like a little bit of a traitor sometimes when I come here. One of the other roles that I serve is that I'm the board chair of the foundation at Vancouver Island University. We're all in this game together. It's all good. They also support United Way. I bring greetings from our Chancellor, Sean Atleo, Chief Atleo, and our President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ralph Nelson. So you're doing well with your totals. In the past year, you've done that. Keeping an eye on that, let's not also lose sight of the fact that it's very important to do a better showing than you, Vic. That matters. It really does. But the messaging that you all understand is something that is very easy to pass on to other people too, that you guys get it. You know why you do this. We're doing this in a united way for our community for a whole bunch of reasons, but the way that I like to explain it is that the best reason to give to the United Way is that it saves on your taxes. You will pay less taxes down the road, you will develop a business plan that's very successful in structuring a healthier community, and you will pay less taxes. There's a couple of ways to look at this. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen every day that require a very large number of 911 services in our community, for example. You look at the most extreme cases where people end up having to be dealt with by police, by fire, by healthcare, by ambulances, by paramedics, and all that stuff. That costs us a lot of money. However, if some of those problems were to go away, you would have less taxes to pay because we wouldn't have to support those things. So in a way, you can do a couple of things. You can just let things be, let them stay the way they are, let those people continue to face those challenges, and delegate the care of that to the 911 services and pay more taxes. Or you can invest in the solutions provided by the United Way, and we'll give you a tax receipt. You save money both ways there. Strong business case for all of this. This is Royal Roads. Speaking to a business plan makes a lot of sense. Effectiveness and efficiency really does matter. The United Way addresses that every single day. Everyone's asked in their business life to do more with less. Everybody's trying to find ways to find efficiencies, yet be more efficient. The United Way does that a number of ways. The agencies and the programs that are supported by the United Way in almost every circumstance involves a convergence of issues. There's an amalgamation, there's a working together, 2, 3, 4, 5 different groups of people taking a look at issues and problems that they share, and they work together to find a more efficient solution. So that eliminates crossover, that eliminates redundancy, that brings efficiency. A lot of the work that's done during the United Way campaign is done by loaned representatives who go to work every day during the campaign, and their employer pays them, but they work for the United Way. They do the campaign work of the United Way, but are paid by their employer. For that reason, there is a great effectiveness and efficiency in what the United Way does, because they have 10, 11, 12, 13 people doing all this work, and they don't have to pay them. Which means that when you say to the United Way, so when I give you $1, what percentage of this money is actually going to the cause instead of to administration? It's very low. Matter of fact, the administration cost for the United Way is the lowest of any major charity. Any of them. So you can take a look at the things that the United Way deals with, and I would advise you to do that online. Go to the United Way website. Do it at work. Do it on work time. It matters. You have more time then than when you get home. Let's be honest with that. So it's a very wise investment in your time to do that at work, because it makes you a stronger employee. It makes you understand your community. It makes you know why it's important to support the United Way. So take a look at that stuff on company time, as often as you can. Take a look at it and see exactly what the United Way does. And when you take a look at that, you'll see a stat that states that 1 in 3 people in this community is assisted directly by the United Way. But if that 1 in 3 is the person at the next desk, if that 1 in 3 is one of the students here, if that 1 in 3 is someone in your family, one of your kids' friends, somebody on your street, somebody who lives in your building, that 1 in 3 comes a whole lot closer to home. You'll also take a look there and you'll see some things that are not the profound and drastic circumstances that seem to be the lightning rod for all the attention. Yes, people in a homeless circumstance or in a state of extreme poverty get a lot of attention, but you know what? There's some stuff that does some very nice, feel-good things, all of which go to creating a stronger and a healthier community. There's organizations that visit seniors. There's organizations that help them get out more. I don't know if you've ever had a senior parent like I have who got a little bit spooked, went to Thrifty Foods one day, standing there in front of the cereal, forgot why they were there. It happened to me last week, but it happens to a lot of people. And in that sense, they feel a little bit less mobile. They feel a little bit more intimidated by going out. Things like that happen through the United Way and are assisted by the United Way, and that's why the dollars that you invest in the United Way are important. You're investing in solutions to current problems, but you're also investing in programs that work very hard to make those issues go away. There is no sense in keeping money flowing into things that will keep that problem happening. You have to invest in the solutions to make that stuff go away, and you'll see that when you take a look online at work at what the United Way does, when you check that out on the website. It's an organization that reaches more people than any other organization. It is the most efficient way that you can invest in your community. Take a look at the programs in the organization. 69 organizations are assisted by the United Way. You're putting all of that investment into one investment that you make. You can direct your dollars to a specific issue. You can direct it to a specific organization or program. You can invest in all of them, part of them, some of them, or all of them. That's your choice, which you can do when you make that choice. But make that choice knowing that you're dealing with the organization that has the most impact of any organization on Vancouver Island and indeed in Canada. And the same thing happens here in Victoria. I work with the other campaigns on Vancouver Island, and I've worked with other campaigns in Canada. I have over 20 years of association with different United Ways because I believe in it, because I know it works. My job title is the Manager of Community and Client Relations, and on the community side, everywhere I go, working with different organizations, the common thread that runs through them all, almost all, is a connection with the United Way. Nonprofits support the United Way. Other organizations support this one because they know the value in that, and I know that you know that value too. There are circumstances where people feel they have less capacity to give, and some of your colleagues here found themselves in that position. The leadership level at $500 is a very, very attainable amount for a lot of people. You feel good when you do it. If you're able to do that, thank you. If you're able to do a little bit more, thank you more. Because as you know, in the economy with the way things go, we had that thing that happened 5 years ago. When things like that happen, the need in the economy increases. The need in the community increases. Those people that were just kind of on the precipice, that were close to dropping off, a lot of them did fall off. When times are bad, the need goes up. When times are bad, feel they have a diminished capacity to invest. So please reconsider the amount that you give, and if you can, in some way, even a little bit, increase it, please do so, because in these times, it's more that is needed, not less. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the leadership you show on this campus, in the outreach in the community, and thank you for the support you show for the United Way. It proves that you're as smart as you look. And we all appreciate that very much. Thank you for all you do for the United Way.
Thank you, Bruce Williams. And I clearly, as smart as I look, eh? Do I not look smart? I'm rather smart today. Huh? Yes, yes. $17,000, that's pretty insane. Good job, guys. I'm wondering if perhaps I should challenge you, Bruce. I know you're not expecting this, but I'm a fan of, no, not now. But I'm a fan of skirts, and I'm wondering if you'd be willing to wear a skirt to raise some money. I'll wear one with you. So how many people would like to see Bruce in a skirt?
Go on.
I suspect you have some quite fetching legs, don't you?
Not at all. Not even close.
Well, let's prove that point, eh? So if you're willing, I'll wear a skirt with you. Who likes that idea? Who would drop money in a hat to see Bruce and I in a skirt? You get to pick the skirts. Absolutely. Yes.
Are we going to Value Village for this, or are we going to
anywhere you want, you know?
Where are we going to do it and when?
That's a good question. We'll figure out the details later. But
You're on.
Okay, you heard it here, guys. And don't get jealous if I look better and win than you. But.
I can guarantee you're going to look better, especially with that hat.
Well, I won't be wearing the hat. And how did I end up being the only one wearing a hat? There was a pink hat going around. Linda, you were supposed to... That's right. That's right. Thank you very much. Yes. So I wanted to introduce our community partner. You've already heard her name, but I'm going to introduce her again. Jacquelin Green, please stand up. She is our community partner, prenatal and family outreach coordinator, Young Parents Support Network. Please sit down. Yep. Oh, are you coming up to say something? Oh, come on up. How are you doing? How are things?
Just great.
Kids are okay? Oh my gosh. Look at that. You made it breakfast. Okay, I'm going to leave it to you.
I'm going to go around this way.
Okay, if you want.
There we go.
And I'll go this way.
That's pretty impressive.
Great, isn't that nice?
Yeah, I am afraid of it.
I like the
actually.
blurred effect. It's kind of nice.
This lady is a Royal Roads graduate, people.
So thank you so much for allowing me to come and speak with you today. It's always a pleasure to come and speak to groups. I get out of my office a lot, but usually I'm in Tim Hortons meeting with young parents, and so it's actually nice to kind of come upscale a little bit and come and see you all here. I want to begin by thanking you so much for your wonderful contribution to the United Way last year. It makes a huge difference in the lives of so many people. I work for the Young Parent Support Network. It's a very small nonprofit here in town. We serve about 250 families every year, and we work with parents between the ages of 13 and 28. Yes, there are 13-year-olds. Most of the bulk of the folks that we work with are between the ages of 16 and 22. And all of those young parents are poor. Most come from very difficult family circumstances. A lot come from foster care. And they have one thing in common. They are parents or about to be parents, and they want to be the best parents that they can be. And luckily for me, I get to help them do that. I always tell people I have the best job in the world, and I'm willing to take on anyone about that. And I want to tell you a little bit about an amazing family that I had the opportunity to work with last year, and I continue to do so. There's a lovely little baby in town. Her name is Victoria. She was born last January at Victoria General Hospital. And I don't know if you know, but every year over 200 babies are born at Victoria General Hospital addicted to drugs or alcohol, or impacted by drugs or alcohol. Victoria, fortunately, is not one of those babies. And she very well could have been without our program that is funded by the United Way. Her mom's name is Kelly. Kelly's a 22-year-old. I met her about 3-4 years ago when her first child had been removed from her care. At that time, she was young. She was addicted to heroin. She had been in and out of rehab. She lived on the street from the time she was 13 years old. She'd worked in the sex trade for most of that time. And she tried to parent her older daughter, but just wasn't able to be successful. There just weren't the supports in the community to help her to do that. I connected with her around the time of the removal of her daughter, and she kind of disappeared for a while. And about every 6 months, I'd get a phone call or a text message saying, hey, come and meet me downtown. And I'd go and see her, and we'd talk a little bit. And things were sort of getting better, but not a lot better. She found out she had hepatitis C, and that made a bit of a change. She went into a treatment program. And about 1.5 years ago, she phoned me, and she told me she was pregnant. And I gotta tell you, my heart went, okay. And so I said to her, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to be a parent this time. I wasn't able to do it before. My life was crap, and I want it to be different this time. I said, okay, let's get together, and we met at Tim Hortons, like we have met at Tim Hortons every week for the last 1.5 years. And we sat down together, and I said to her, are you clean? She said, yeah, for the moment. I said, okay, that's a great place to start. What do we need to do? And we made a plan. And I promise I won't cry. I do this at every presentation. She's a pretty amazing young woman. She was able to stay clean. She was able to get into safe and affordable housing. Thank goodness. It's really tough here in Victoria, as I'm sure most of you know. Her partner was able to get clean. And that is pretty amazing, because we don't have a lot of dads who are able to stay in the picture and remain connected. And I was very, very fortunate that last January I was able to be her doula. Doula is a labor assistant, and one of the programs that we offer is outreach doulas. And outreach doulas are important because some of the folks that we see, many of the folks that we see, don't have anyone who would be able to be with them when they're having their babies. And it makes a huge difference. All of the mums in the crowd, and probably the dads too, know that it's a tough thing to go through labor, and I wouldn't want anyone to do that on their own. It was a pleasure and a gift to be able to be there. Her baby was born 100% healthy. Yay is right. And it's pretty amazing. And the reason why she was able to do that is because of the support of people like you. Not just the money you give, which is very important, and of course we always want to say thank you for the wonderful gift that you give when you are able to contribute financially. But the United Way does something even more important, I think, and it is that it connects people in the community. She was able to realize that there was a whole community of people around her who were interested in her success, interested in her health and the health of her baby, their well-being, and they cared about them. And one of the things she said to me was, you know, last time I wasn't able to be successful because I felt all alone. And this time I realized I didn't have to be alone. There was a whole community of people who cared about me. Pretty impressive stuff. And so I'm very happy to report her baby is still well in her care. There are no concerns through the Ministry of Children and Family Development. She's also been able to connect on weekends with her older child, which is pretty special as well. That's because of people like you. The United Way does a tremendous thing in this community, and you are lucky because you get to be a part of it. I am lucky because I get to be a part of it. Change begins here. It begins with you. And the reason why it does that is because you care, you want to be a part of this. And so I would invite you all to think about it when that pledge form comes around and you're thinking, gee, you know, can I go without that latte this week? You can. You can for people like Kelly and her beautiful baby, Victoria. You can for yourself because it means you're contributing to your community in a really important way. So thank you so much for allowing me to do a job I love. Thank you for taking time out of your work day. Good plan, I like the checking your thing at work. I'm gonna try that at my work. And thank you again for contributing to United Way. $52,000 is absolutely achievable. And I can tell you, I've been to UVic and I've been to Cahoon. You guys are cuter. So you
Although I'm somewhat suspicious, perhaps, Jacquelin, that you told the other people they were cute too. I do want to very much thank you for that. That was a very personal and powerful way of linking the kind of work that you do to the kind of giving that we can do here. Very much appreciate that story. I'm trying really hard not to cry too. So we're going to shift gears on that note to kind of the fun part. And before we do that, Linda, you look like you're you've worn the hat now. You feeling good? You can pass it on. So I want you to, if you would get up and walk over to the table where Amy's sitting, and right beside Amy is Lauren Moline. Because Lauren's fairly new to our youth community. We want to show her how we treat new folk. No. Hey, that'd be good!
She's an alum.
She's an alum from what program, Pedro? From the BCom program. And she's also the newest member of our United Way campaign team as well. Thank you, Lauren. Theme of RU Connections, I also want to point out that Andrea Torres, who Bruce was talking about efficiency and effectiveness, we're like 10 times efficiency with Andrea because she's one of our MGM students. Yes. We're nothing if not proud of our graduates. So the other fun stuff we've got coming for you this year, you should recognize all this stuff. What do you see? Big sale. Big sale. Book sale. Book sale. Decorate. Decorate. On auction.
Alcohol.
Alcohol. Close. Who knows what this is for? Bottle drive, which is alcohol and other things. Yoga. Yes. Who knows what this one is? Castle jumping. Oh, come on. Right. So we are pleased to be able to bring you the same suite, as well as a few little twists of our traditional United Way events. The duck race will be October 24th. Down at the Fish Ladder. It's going to be a sunny day. Never is. And we're pleased to have another broadcaster join us. We won't say his name. For that, as we always have. Book and Bake Sale has a new twist this year. Our library folks, again, are hosting, and I should mention that many of you know Melanie Robles on sick leave right now, and she can't be with us, but she's been a big part of the United Way campaign, as she has for a long time. But we've got the big crew at the back there that is going to host the book, bake, and DVD, CD, LP, games, etc., puzzles, etc., etc. So they've got a new and expanded notion for the book and bake sale. The online auction will be happening, as we said. The Flower, Victoria, Juanita, and Gay are already at the back of the room with tickets ready for sale. Yoga on the quarterdeck with the rec center, or maybe the LIC, we'll see. What have I missed? Oh, the craft fair. So this is supposed to be, this is craft. And the craft sale. The employee craft sale will be November 22nd, we're thinking, Cindy? Yeah, somewhere around there. So you can look forward to all that great stuff.
Yes.
Next slide. Now here comes the really exciting part. Oh, Tony talked about this already. We rocked 2011, because now I'm going to give you the pitch about the pledge forms. Can you go to it, Mike, please? So, okay, when you leave here, please go over there, and if you haven't already got your forms, get in the lineup that's got your alpha letter of your last name, and pick up your forms. And if you don't get yours today, or you have a chance, if you can pick up some for friends back at the office, that'd be terrific too. And here's how you fill it out. This is the most exciting part of this presentation. You put your name in, you put your address in, you put all this cool stuff. And I should say thank you very much to Cecilia, who every year does a great job of finding some character to represent us. So that's pretty straightforward, who you are and all that stuff. Next one, Mike. Then you put how much you're going to give. Doesn't have to be a lot, like we said before. You could put $1 in there, and we would be happy for your dollar. Moving on. Oh, I guess, sorry, Mike, can you go back one? I should have mentioned. You can, as it notes here, you can either put your gift to where it's needed the most, or you can designate it, and I'll show you in a second how you can do that. Thanks, Mike. All right, so now you can give cash, credit, any way you want to give your money, we'll figure out a way to take it. And of course, an easy way for us here at Royal Roads is to do it as a payroll deduction. I personally do it that way because I hardly feel it. It just comes off every paycheck, and that's the latte I didn't have that week. So you can give it in any way you want. Automatic bank deduction you can do, and then there'll be a section below for that stuff. And you have to sign your name there if that's how you're given. And so we'll move on to the next one. If you're doing your payroll deduction, which is a really good way to do it, and Joyce is really excited, we have lots of people do this. It's simple too, you just calculate, and we will give you those numbers if you're confused about, if you've got a total number in mind, you want to work the math, we can help you with that, but generally it's 26 pay periods, so if you give 20 a pay period, it turns out to 520, not exactly 500, or $1 would be $26, that sort of thing. The only key here is don't forget to sign, please. And then the next one. So here's where you can designate, and you can designate either to a specific impact area if you choose one of the 3 of the United Way impact areas, or you can choose a specific organization, and I personally do this. Just where it says the Canadian charity name, you can put the name of your charity. You don't have to have, don't tell them I said this, but you don't have to have the charity number, they'll figure that part out. But the website, United Way website, does have a list of all the charities that the United Way works with. You can designate a charity that's not a United Way sponsored charity, but if you do that, you need to know that the United Way doesn't monitor those. They're not connected to the sort of reporting out and that kind of thing, but you can do that. Next. And then you can give other ways. If you have done the form and are thinking about some planning for the future, this part always makes me feel funny, but thinking about your bequests or your life insurance, or you can give some thought to that sort of thing as well. And then, because we have some people, like, who don't live here in Victoria, and Bruce alluded to this as well, we do have other campaigns on the island. And so if you would like to give to a different campaign, you can designate that, and you just write it somewhere on the form. And the truth is, it's not really section 3. This slide is from last year. So if you're interested in that, just give Cindy a call or shoot Cindy an email, and she will figure that part out for you. And I think that's it for the forms. Does anybody have any questions about that? About the forms?
Oh, I just have a question.
Always Cecilia has a question.
I'm just wondering if there's a minimum amount you can see if you're giving through
Oh,
payroll.
that's such a good question. And I always forget to say this, so that's why she has to ask the question. So correct me if the minimum amount is?
I think it's $25.
I think it's 25 too.
It's $25.
It's $25. So you could do your $1 a paycheck, because that would be 26, but you can't do 50 cents. Okay. So in keeping with the thanks theme, we will be doing the Thank You for Giving draws again this year. We have 3 set. October 12th, which is this Friday, will be for another $100 gift card for the Canadian retailer of your choice. You'll let us, your name is drawn, like Linda's, and you get to pick where you'd like it from, and we'll get that for you. October 26th will be the parking pass, and then everybody's favorite, November 9th, the day off with pay. And we may have some other little pop-ups throughout the campaign, but this is what we have set out for schedules right now. And I think that's it for me. Tony.
Ooh, well, that was a lot of fun. I just wanted to wrap things. Never touch a microphone. Andre's going, what the hell? Just wanted to wrap everything up. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Bruce Williams, the Dream Team, Roberta, our household superstar, and Jacquelin Green, a superstar in herself. So, folks, I just want to leave this note with you. Do you want people to get help when they need it? I know this crowd, and I know that we do too. We all do. So, give a hoot. Don't pollute. I don't know whatever comes out of my mouth. So, do donate freely and often. So this concludes. Good night.
One thing before you leave, I just wanted to tell people that this year Bruce Williams was nominated by the United Way and is receiving the Queen Elizabeth II Royal Jubilee Medal for his contribution to community.